So the inspiration for the hair is Paolo Roversi, the photographer. We're using Kerasa's product, hairspray, we curl the hair, we pin the hair, and we're doing a romantic look, and we're adding flowers who are done by Zac.
Every flower was hand bleached, then hand dyed, painted, the makeup almost like an Irving Penn clean face.
Well, I wanted to work with the romantic elements of the collection, but have one graphic detail that sort of punctuated the romance. So really the strongest feature is the eyelashes and the black eyeliner. And I really like the way it almost exaggerates the movement of the eye. So like a glance of the eye is kind of like seen in the back row.
It's a very romantic season.
I'm a friend and a fan. I actually saw the collection yesterday. He's so proud of it. It's so beautiful. The colors are insane. They're so gorgeous. He makes a woman feel sexy and confident and feminine. It's beautiful. I love him.
Well, I found a rose that was ombre from like green to purples, and it was dipped in like a polyurethane, and that's how I started my color palette. And then I started looking sort of at one of the great original style icons, Sarah Bernhardt of the stage, and started looking at this sort of impressionist painting color palette, something where we could be very soft and then also have a sculptural element within the collection.
I thought it was spectacular. I thought the models looked like petal-colored wisps of air coming through, and yet somehow it was still incredibly structured and extraordinary stitching detail on it, and yet they seem to have floated by us. It was spectacularly beautiful.
You know, I was looking at these Art Nouveau posters and sort of taking lines for a whimsical walk, and I thought it worked really well sort of with the moment. I feel like with all the space, the sort of emphasis on technology and future, I'm seeing through technology people so interested in craft and hand and process. And so I think there's this amazing dialogue with the whole new generation, my generation, that is very intrigued about what is the imagination and hands can build as well, and that dialogue. And I'm fascinated by that. Playing with transparencies, it's one of our softer collections we've done in a long time.
I love Zac. I mean, he's a true couturier. I mean, you can't say that about a lot of people, and he's really about the cut, the details, the craftsmanship. I mean, you want to cut a dress, it's a Zac Posen dress.
We play with layering of colors, of tonalities. We're playing with chiffon, with sort of embroidered laces. We're also playing with embroideries of a knotting technique. It's very sort of subtle, it's not blingy. And then I'm playing with a new concept of what I call conceptual evening. Pieces that aren't necessarily only in our Vavoom fishtail silhouette, which we have in the show as well, but things that sort of push the element of silhouette and shape.
Zac's always been very nice to me. I've sort of idolized his dresses and what he creates, because you don't see it very often, that you find the craftsmanship of them actually making the fabric and pleating it and doing it all in-house, and it's definitely an art.
Zac is always like such a craftsman. He's a gentleman. He makes clothes that women feel beautiful in, and I thought the collection was stunning.
Well, I think there's a sense of soft glamour, romance, and American sophistication.
Oh my God, you know, he's so blessed because he's so intuitive and he keeps everything light and bright as far as, you know, the colors and, you know, it's very sexy actually because, you know, it's ladylike, very ladylike and I just love his clothes. They're so well structured and they make you feel like $1 million.
His technique, his pulling them together, his stitch, his structure, his pulling in at the waist with, you know, the corset. It's beautiful.
Zac is probably the nicest, friendliest designer that I've met so far, so it's really, really a pleasure to be in his show. Well, my dress is a very beautiful kind of doll style dress with a very tiny waist and then coming out. And it fitted perfectly at the fitting already, so it seems like it was meant to be.
I've always thought his clothes were so feminine, which is something I'm a fan of, but tailored so impeccably that they're structured and yet still have this sort of feminine whimsy to them. That's sort of the kind of thing I've always loved my entire life. So as soon as I saw him years and years ago, I thought, oh, that's someone who's doing exactly what I love. So I've been following him for a long time.
Well, it's definitely from the show for a special moment, an evening, whether they're hosting something, a red carpet. I mean, I have clients all around the world, and they get gravitated to these pieces, and they collect them, and I feel very honored that I can produce this in America to such a high level of craft and teach another generation in my atelier and studio. Keep it going. If you can put as much love into the work you do, I think that's very powerful and meaningful, and I'm you know, just so happy to work with such an amazing team every day. It keeps me excited.